Chapter 32, Episode 8, Part 3. In my experience, bright white lights are signs to try and avoid. I've had more than enough close calls in my life to understand that if you got the energy, you walk away from the light in a tunnel. Especially the last place you remember being is anywhere underground. That being said, a blind white light filling the room was enough to spark some memories that didn't need to be sparked. I squeezed my eyelids as tightly shut as I could and tried to breathe slowly. Not that I could, because my breathing was incredibly quick and shallow, and threatened to black me out and... No, please help me, I'm losing it. The light faded after a couple of seconds, giving me a chance to try and settle myself down. I kept my eyes closed for a few more seconds, finding out the memories and settling my breathing a little more. Which of course meant that another shocking revelation was not going to be added to power stuff, trying to bring an end to my sanity. When I looked up, the teacher that came over for friendly, if not slightly jarring, visit was gone. In replaced to someone that was definitely not an organic human. Everything about her was drastically different compared to who walked into her house. Instead, in her place stood a female reploid in blue and white armor. The heavy piece of armor didn't cover her entire body, sitting more like a tube top. The white sacks covered just about everything else. Her shoes, which were simple heels to begin with, transformed into heels so high I couldn't help but wonder if she could walk around without falling over. The second I saw her, I immediately recognized her from all my trips onto the internet. Then suddenly it clicked for me. Levy Fair. Fairy Leviathan. Wow. How it never occurred to me before tonight is beyond me. As far as disguise names go, that was probably the worst I'd ever heard. Well, Miss Fair growled slightly, which was both interesting and a little frightening considering that she was still smirking. Also, crud. Excuse you for not being more creative with my name. I had a hard time figuring out who I wanted to be at the end of the war. Then again, disguise and deception are more of my brother's specialties, so maybe I should have asked her for help. Huh? The smirk didn't budge. If anything, it seemed like she might have been trying to keep it from exploding into a full-on smile. What, you mean you tell me that you recognize me, but you don't know anything about my brother? Where do you do your reading anyway? I knew exactly who she was talking about. Kind of safe face. I was actually referring to the whole stealth thing. I mean, you call simple holographic projection stealthy? Leviathan huffed. That got a smile to fade. Yeah, right. This is no simple holographic projection, kid. Takes some serious slight particle manipulation, not only to make me look like a normal person, but to let me touch things without them going through the projection. Sure, you could argue that I don't really need it, considering most people don't have the eye for detail it takes noticeably losing a fraction of an inch when I'm holding or touching something. But it's better to be careful just in case. It's called a hard light projection. Ask your operator about it sometime. Maybe you'll pay more attention to him than you do to your classwork. So yeah, I'd call my disguise stealthy. Besides, I don't think you have much room to talk. If news reports on TV are any indication. Now it's my turn to huff. I think it's better then that the Mavericks know when I'm around. Iris, if you think constantly being big and loud about where you are and when is a good idea, you've got a lot to learn. Mine cleared her throat, getting both of our attentions. Children, I'm going to ask you both to watch your attitudes. She looked to me. Especially you, considering that you are, in fact, my daughter. So if you two are done, we can get back to the reason we called you over here to begin with. The father and I, as we both made our way back to seats. For the record, I said to Mom, I am still not convinced that you three are who you say you are. Part of me wants to say that I said just to be defiant. After all, it's pretty hard to argue that you're being lied to when all the evidence against you is being stacked up in front of you. Still, it's fair using a hard light projection to look like Fairy Leviathan wasn't possible. There are plenty of pictures of her on the internet, after all. Then again, so many images could make it easy to program a hologram to look like Fairy Leviathan. But then, why would Miss Fair want to look like Fairy Leviathan? Just because part of her name was pretty similar to one of the 4 generals. And how did Mom and Dad know Miss Fair to begin with? Did they know her before I started taking her class? Or did Dad just pick a name from the Academy's contact list? But if he did just pick a name, then what was the display when she showed up at our front door? Which should mean that they were telling the truth, wouldn't it? Gah! I still was used to think about when they knew each other to begin with. I wasn't really in the mood to reboot my brain after overthinking things. Which is fine, Dad said, finally looking somewhat relaxed and breaking me out of my self-induced logic bomb. I think he knew I was starting to lose some of the confidence in my accusation. That's what we're here about. And that brings me to my question, Miss Fair said. What exactly do you want me to do? Until everyone proved who they were to me, I refuse to acknowledge Miss Fair as Fairy Leviathan. Mama said this time. Well, dropping in disguise was a step in the right direction. What I was thinking, though, was that three of us tell ours here a story from the war. At this, frowned. Really? I think we're all a little old for a storytime corner. Besides, I don't see how that would prove anything. For the first time since she rang our doorbell, I agree with Miss Fair. Other than the stupid sounding idea of yay, story time, I don't see how three of them telling me a story from the Surrey War would make me change my mind about how I felt. After all, it really isn't that hard for people to make up a story about something that happened during a major world event. Well, that's true, Mom agreed. Honestly though, it's not so much about who we're talking to while we talk about what we were up to so many years ago as it is telling someone we were up to so many years ago. I frowned at that. Also, now I'm just an excuse to reminisce? It just made me lose a little more belief in them. A little respect too, but that's not something I tell them about. After all, who uses a jar as an excuse to get together? I mean, I can understand if I was still a little baby. Makes sense then. Not so much that when that little baby is a lot older and questioning their identities. Let's not even talk about how redundant her sentence was. Maybe she as if I was adopted too. Might as well throw everyone's identity out there. It's not like there was much more about myself or my family that I wasn't willing to throw into questioning. We were quiet for a few moments. I guess the three of them were waiting for someone to start the memory lane trip. That was what I was waiting for. That, and I was looking at everyone and trying to figure out what they were thinking about. Mom and Dad were trying to look with each other, neither one really showing much emotion. Miss Fair had her eyes closed, but she wasn't much more emotional than my parents were. Well, Miss Fair started after a minute or two. As much as I'd like to sit in silence, I think it's time we get this little storytelling adventure underway. And it is about when we should talk about? It was at this point that Dad turned away from Mom and grew the most wicked-looking grin I'd ever seen him wear. Well, I was thinking about the time I beat you in your own submarine. Miss Fair flinched and coughed a little. The two of them were acting like it was Dad's own revenge against her or something. I'd rather not, I answered. She answered. I don't think your daughter is interested in hearing about the fighting in the war. You haven't known Aunt for very long if you're saying that, Mom said. She's been reading about the subway elsewhere for a long time. The front haunted. You know, it'd be nice if you guys didn't talk about me like I wasn't here. That's just rude. Mom turned to me with one eyebrow higher than the other. You've been trying to call your father and me since we've gotten home. I don't think you have the right to say anyone is being rude here. I huffed. She had 2 points, but I wasn't about to admit that. Hearing about a battle, if they are who they say they are, would be something I'd have over anyone on the internet. Mom turned back to the other adults. In any case, I personally can't think of any other story that might interest her and still involve 3 of us. It would also be nice to get yourself what happened in that battle. Miss Fair regarded Mom with the most flat expression I'd ever seen. I sincerely hate you both. That smile widened a bit. That explains why he jumped on me when I opened the door. Miss Fair's cheeks darkened a little. Oh, shut up. For the record, that wasn't so much me having any sort of feelings for you as it was me just missing the 2 of you after not seeing you in so long. If that was the case, then why didn't you jump a CO too? Because chances are I would have sliced and let her fall flat on her face? Mom answered. Anyway, Miss Fair interrupted. I think it's time we stop ignoring the fact that I'm happily married and actually got to the story you wanted to get to. Finally, the fact that 3 people in my life I'm supposed to have an idea about are acting completely different compared to what I'm used to is more than a little jarring. Miss Fair looked at me with a grin on her face that, as long as this lasted, would probably need her to get off of her. I think the accidental moral mouth is ready for us to get on with it too. I shrank a little. I swear, my head and my mouth are going to get me in so much trouble someday. So then, Mom said, where do we want to start? Miss Fair shifted in her seat a little. How about we start with why you sent Sarah on that mission to begin with? This time, Dad moved. He leaned forward a little, like he was getting ready to tell a long and winding story. This story takes a few months after your mother found me. One of our more trusted intelligence agents gave us some information about a ship off the coast near Arcadia. A ship that held valuable information that would prove invaluable on 2 fronts. It helped the resistance by giving us some insight on the way near Arcadia worked, Mom said. We hoped it would give us some updated insight on the inner workings of Near Arcadia's ranks, since my personal knowledge at the time was likely out of date. Dad came back in. The other way it was valuable was to me. Most of my memory had been corrupted when CO rebooted me. There might have been some information about me or the time before my awakening that would have triggered some sort of clarification. The plan was for me to get and collect as much information as I could before things looked like they were going to go south. Unfortunately, this is something that holds true even to this day. Even the most well-thought plans rarely survive contact with the enemy. Hopefully, real life is done hating me long enough for me to get back to writing. For those interested, I'm not only on fanfiction these days. See my profile for other places to check out what works I've done. Next episode, we flash it back to the Cyber F4, hoping Alice is convinced that she's not being any more deceived than she already has been.